Okay, in my previous video we talked about how we can install SIM application. We have seen like what purpose SIM exists, and we also set up the OSS EC data for making this particular data SIM compatible, right? So in this video we will basically try to achieve that part where we have some kind of data in our system and we want to make that particular data SIM compatible. Okay, so the first step we need to basically identify is what kind of data it is. Okay, now this will explain why, because if we just go to settings and okay, let me go to manage apps, not settings. Okay, the way SIM application has been designed is it comes up with some predefined data models. So if I just go to the setup page of that particular data model, particular application, okay, and here in the left hand portion you can see there are different data models are available, like alerts, application state, authentication, certificates, then databases, intrusion detection, those type. There are a lot of predefined data models are available over here. Now the first job is to identify the data is applicable or basically related to which kind of data model. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to do when you want to make your data SIM compatible. Now for that there is a guide available in the SIM app documentation. Okay, if you go to this particular data model tab, here they have given for all these different data models, okay, and what kind of data they represent. Okay, suppose if I just open this intrusion detection page over here, okay, and if you see they have given a table. One is called tag table, another is called like different fields and what are the different description, and like a small note on what kind of data model it is. Okay, what kind of domain it represents over here. Okay, so once you identify that one, then we will see how to do that. Now for our data which we have indexed for our into our Splunk using UDP, this is nothing but the OSS EC data, right? So if I just open the OSS EC client or basically the UI over here, if you see this is nothing but the intrusion detection data. Okay, so the closest data model we will be working on is the intrusion detection only. That's why I have opened this particular data model page over here. Okay, so once we identify that one, first thing we have to do is we have to go to SIM setup, open this particular page for intrusion detection. Okay, and if you see it in this settings page, there are two different options are available. One is called basically index whitelist, tag whitelist, and the data model acceleration. Okay, now ideally it will search for all the indexes for your data, but over here you can mention like which index basically having your data. So for us it's a main index, so that the search will be only limited to this particular index, so it will be performance wise it will be better. Okay, that's why this whitelist is important over here. Okay, and now if you want to accelerate your data model, you can do it from here, so that when you build reports using this particular data model, your reports will be working faster, as we have seen in the data model acceleration. Okay, so I'll just save it over here, keep these tags as is over here. Okay, now it is saying like if you see it over here, once it save it, it will be saying something like restricted to the main index over here. So that's the only stuff we can do. Okay, now the next stuff we will be doing it, we will be going to settings, we will be going to data models. Okay, now for making this particular data OSS EC data compatible with SIM, as we have identified say intrusion detection data, we will be clicking on this particular. Let me open this page again, settings, data models, and the intrusion detection data. Sometimes it fails to display, maybe try it again. Okay, now over here if you see it, like this particular data model page defines everything, like what tags you want to create over here. If you just see the search query over here, you will come to know what tags you want to create. Even the same information is available in the intrusion detection data model page as well over here, like these tags IDS and attack. And if you see it over here, the same tags are available over here. So either you can refer the documentation, like what tags you need to create and what are the different field names you want to create, or the best way will be that you just come to this data model page if you have access to, and just see what are the different tags you need to create and what are the different calculated fields you need to create it over here. Okay, now today's use case is something like this one. So if I just go to the documentation and the example part of the OSS EC data, okay, so in the Splunk Enterprise Security app, there is a panel which shows basically this intrusion detection data. Okay, it's called Intrusion Center Dashboard. Now over there, so it as I said in my previous video, Splunk Enterprise Security app is CIM compatible, right? So that means for intrusion detection data, it knows what are the different fields are available. Okay, that means I'm talking about these fields over here, which is documented over here, or in the data model page, this field. So it always refers this field to display over there. So if we can make our OSS EC data to generate those fields, it will be sufficient enough for this particular enterprise security app to display that data in its dashboard. Okay, so that's the concept behind the data normalization, right? So as I do not have enterprise security available in my system, so I'm just giving you like the background, like why we are doing it something like this one. Okay, so let's move on. So if I just see the different fields which needs to be created for us, like the signature, category, severity, source, destination, IDS type, like the similar stuff is available over here as well. Signature, category, severity, source, destination, user, vendor, product. Okay, so we'll try to see how we can create this fields today. So before we start, let us try to understand the events we are receiving over here. Okay, so if you see from OSS EC, so if I just do a comparison with the OSS EC UI, if you see, these are the events it is generating, right? With some level like web server 400 error, with some rule ID, location, source IP, and the actual event over here. Okay, and some messages over here basically. So the similar kind of data is getting pushed to Splunk as well. If you see, if I just see a level 5 event over here, something like this one, web server 400 error. Okay, so that is what it came. This is the alert level, then the rule, web server, some name over here, then the location, then the classification, then source IP, then some messages over here, right? So this is how the whole event is coming over here. Now what I did over here in this PPT is I actually created a diagram, okay, which may be helpful for all of us over here. So it just showing up like what is what, because this OSS EC events are some events which do not have this key value pairs in equals to, so that Splunk will not understand the key value pairs from these events because it is not delimited by the equals to sign, right? So we need to extract fields accordingly. So for that, what portion of the event is what kind of field, that we need to understand. Okay, so if I just see it over here, after alert level, whatever the digit is coming up over here, that's the severity ID. Okay, that's the severity of that event over here. Okay, it could be like 5, 6, 7, something like this one. Now after 6 we have a rule, right, as you have seen in the OSS EC UI as well, and a rule number, right? So that rule number is the signature ID, and the rule description like SSH insecure connection attempt, that's the signature. Okay, now location is in where this particular issue occurs over here. Okay, so over here if you see, this is my Google instance and this is the file where this particular issue occurs, so that's depicting my location over here. Okay, now classification, it's what kind of issue it is. Okay, and source IP, it will give you the source IP, and it will give you a message over here. The rest of the part of this event is a message over here. Okay, now not all events are having similar structure, but most of the events are having at least till this location are having a similar structure. Okay, after location this source IP and message may be different for some of the events over here. That's why what I have done it over here is I have taken some sample events in a file. Okay, because we need to build a regular expression over here. If you see the level 7 event, after classification it do not have any kind of source IP over here. Okay, so those type of changes are there. So it solely depends on like how your event structure is. Based on that you need to basically generate the regular expression over here. Okay, now another stuff is when we indexed into Splunk, we have given a source type called OSSEC. Okay, so all these settings, props.conf settings, we will be creating for this particular source type only. Now for that, first let us try to build a regular expression which will at least extract some of the fields over here. Okay, so for that what we'll do is we will copy these sample events. This one I have taken from this events only over here. Okay, so we'll go to regex 101. So these are all like, if you see level 7, level 6, couple of level 5 events I have taken as well. Okay, now below level 5 those are lot like intrusion events, those are something like informational events over here. Okay, that also generated by OSSEC. So we will be mainly bothering about the events structure which are having level 5 and getter. Okay, so now the first thing is what we need it over here. As you have seen it, we need to basically extract these fields like severity ID, signature ID. Now severity ID, why we are extracting? Because we have seen in the data model there is a field called severity, but this requires a string representation. Okay, that means there is a concept of lookup over here. Okay, so if I just open this particular lookup, I think I already opened it over here. Okay, so if you see it, like with the severity numeric values, there is a severity string over here, there is a mapping over here. Okay, so but in our event only this thing is present. We have to make it this one. Okay, so we will see how we can achieve that. So that's why we are just only extracting the severity ID now. The actual severity field will be the mapping value of the severity ID. Okay, which we'll do it later. So let us go back. Okay, so that's the severity ID. Now the next thing we have to do it is the signature ID and the signature and then the location, these 4 fields, right? So signature is present over here. Okay, and severity already seen it over here. Now location we will be needing it for the destination purpose to basically extract the destination from here. So if I just go back to this event structure, maybe or maybe I'll just go back to this one. So from here, so this will be my destination over here. Okay, so that for that we are basically extracting this location field. Now what I have done it over here, previously I have just created this particular regular expression. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this one. Okay, this is very simple regular expression. We have done this kind of regular expression many times in our videos, right? So we'll just try to not waste time over here. So what we'll do is over here I'll just paste it. It is very simplistic regular expression. I am starting from this alert level, then I am basically searching for this digit over here, making this as a severity ID. Then this rule ID is basically nothing but my signature ID over here. If you see, this is my signature and this is my location value over here. Okay, now this one I will paste it in a props.conf. Okay, so for that we will go back to our instance, we will SSH it, we will sudo su, then we will clear it once, we will go to /opt splunk home, splunk etc apps. Let's say we will save it in our search app, everything. Okay, now after you build that regular expression, you can basically create your own app and ship those same props.conf settings as a part of your app as well. So it does not matter where you now save it. Okay, the idea is more important over here. Now we will go to local folder. Okay, and if there is any props.conf, yes, we have it. Let's open that. We have something called OSSEC, as we have created that, given that particular source type when we index into Splunk, right? That's why it has created this part over here, which is good. Now over here we need to create the field extraction part, right? So what the regular expression we have developed it over here, the same regular expression will be giving to extract the 4 fields, right? The alert, basically the severity ID, the signature ID, signature, and the location over here. Okay, so what I will do it over here, like I'll just, so as you have seen in my props.conf video, right, we have basically discussed the same stuffs over there, right? This extract, report, eval. So that's why I'm not explaining again. I'll be giving this particular video link over here, so if you are not watched that particular video, maybe you can watch that as well. Okay, so I'll just copy from till here to here. So I'll say insert. So I am basically creating a extract type of regular expression, and here you can basically give a class name. So most of the people give like this way, like what are the fields it is extracting over here. Okay, then the regular expression, but over here the regular expression has to be like, it has to create a named group over there. Okay, those type of regular expression only you can use it. So I will go over here, I'll just copy it. Okay, as we have already have the named group over here, groups over here, so insert. Okay, so that's the regular expression to extract this particular 4 fields over here. Okay, now in similar way I can create a regular expression which will extract these fields as well, because we need the source field as well, because for level 7 anyway we do not have either any of the source IP field which is present for till level 6 events. If you see it over here, source IP and the message field, because over here if you see there is a source as well, right? So that we need to extract over here. So same way what we can do is we can use this particular regular expression over here. Okay, so if I just give this particular regular expression, sorry, I have to give it over here. Okay, if you see, like it is again a simplistic regular expression which is basically taking the source IP, extracting the source IP, and this rest of the stuff as a message over here. Okay, because from here also we need to extract some other fields, user, so that's why I am extracting this message field now. Later we will see how to extract the other fields from here. Okay, so similar stuff, what I can do is I can just say extract dash. Okay, and then I can copy this part over here, like the source IP, user, message, or because we are only extracting the source IP and message, so maybe I will just give that one part. We still not extracted the user over here. Okay, so let me just verify the regular expression. Yeah, only these 2 fields we are extracting over here, right? So we will copy this one, we will paste it over here. Okay, so we using this to extract fields, basically extract configuration, we are extracting couple of fields over here. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's save this particular file, okay, and restart Splunk and see whether this field extraction is at least working or not. Okay, so we'll do one thing. We will go to opt Splunk bin Splunk restart. Okay, so we'll restart Splunk once. We'll come back after Splunk restart completed. Okay, our Splunk has been restarted. So let us go back to our Splunk instance and try to see whether those field extraction is working or not. I will log in over here as well so that we can refer the data model page whenever needed. Let us try to run this particular search again and see whether those fields are getting extracted or not. Okay, and if you see it, it is extracting the severity ID, those signature ID, signature fields, all of this stuff, right? Source IP, even there should be a field called location as well. So everything it is extracting over here. Okay, so if I just do a comparison now for the calculated fields, so signature field we already having it, severity ID we are extracting, but we need the severity, which we'll be doing it through the lookup. Okay, now we have source and destination. So let us first concentrate on these two. Okay, first let us concentrate on the destination part. Okay, as I told, from the location field, so if I just see the location field over here, okay, so this part is my destination one. Okay, so either it can come as a your instance name, because for me instance 2 is coming, because over here we are having the name of this particular instance over here. Okay, so either that destination, or it can come as a IP address as well, or some of the events, if I just go to the Splunk documentation, okay, for some of the events before the IP, if you see it in the location field before the IP, so there is a destination, this guy also can come over here. Okay, so this is nothing but the DNS name over here. So for us, if we have the IP, we will take this as a destination. If we do not have the IP, we will take this as a destination over here. Okay, so that will be the logic, let's say we are planning to build. Okay, so for that now we need to work on the location field. So let's copy this couple of this location field value over here. Okay, we will remove this thing, and let's say this one as well. Okay, all are having the similar kind of structure. Now from here, as I said, so this will be our destination or the DNS value, right? So for that also, what we need to do, we need to go again by some kind of regular expression to extract that. So here we will, let's say we will be using a transform.conf. We have seen the similar stuff in our props.conf and transform.conf video as well, right? So if we have this particular regular expression, which is very simplistic again, okay, what it is doing, it is basically extracting this part over here, the first match. Okay, then it is extracting this separator, and this is extracting this one over here. Okay, now the first one, even if you see, like, it is creating the group 3, 4 and 5 over here, because of these brackets over here. Okay, so what I have mentioned it over here, like, if we have destination DNS, which is not extracting for my event, okay, it would have extracted when we have this kind of structure, as I have shown you over here in the Splunk example. Before the IP, if we have something, that will be extracted as a destination DNS. Okay, as it is not present in my event, so it is not extracting that part over here. Okay, and if I just go back over here, so we have 2, then the IP, the third occurrence of the regular expression, third group basically, is called the regular expression of this regular expression with the destination IP over here, which is nothing but this one over here. If you see, like, either IP or the instance name over here, and we have taken the source basically as a group number 5 over here, which is nothing but this particular one. This is the source file of that particular event over here, right? So that is what we have extracted over here using a transform.conf. Okay, so very similar and easy one. So what we need to do in transform.conf, we have to add basically this particular stanza. We have seen this many times. So what we can do is, let's see whether we have any transform.conf. No, I'll just clear the screen so that it will be easier to understand. We do not have any transform.conf. We will create it, transforms.conf. Okay, and then what we can do in insert, we'll just paste it. Okay, so that will be our transform.conf. And now when we create a transform.conf entry in our props.conf, we need to basically tell which transform.conf stanza we need to use it over there. Okay, so that is what I have done it over here. If you see, this is for the extract destination, right? So if I just go it over here in that insert mode, insert, so this is the transform.com stanza name, which is basically extracting those three fields over here. Okay, those three fields, whatever we have seen it over here, is called destination DNS, destination IP, and the original source. Now let's say we want as I told that for our case, the value of the destination field will be either the destination IP if it is not blank. If it is blank, it will be destination DNS. Okay, so it is a very simple things to create. What you need to do, we can create a eval field extraction over here, right? That is what we have done it over here. So we are creating a field called destination. After eval, whatever the name you will be giving, that will be the field name over here, and basically you have used a coalesce on the destination IP, which is getting extracted from here, and the destination DNS, which is also getting extracted from here, from the above extraction, right? So let us add this one as well over here. Okay, so in our props.conf, so let's open the props.conf, come over here, insert, paste it. Okay, so we created the DEST field over here. Okay, so let us, okay, so if I just recap, so we are basically concentrating on the DEST field now. Okay, and let us try to do the similar stuff for the source field, right? For the source, we are extracting a field called source_IP from here, right? So I could have given the same name as source. I just did not give, so that I can just show you, like, you can rename the field using a field alias as well. Okay, it's not a rename, it's basically creating a new field with the similar values whatever we have in the for the existing field. Okay, because for your event you may not have the same field name. Okay, but for the intrusion detection data set, you need to create a field called source, right? If I just see it over here, src, right? So that is what we are doing it from the src_IP using this field alias. So let us add that one as well, because this is also a very simple configuration in our props.conf, right? Okay, so we will save the file, we will restart Splunk, okay, just to see whether whatever settings till now we have created is working or not. Okay, we'll come back after Splunk restart completed. Okay, Splunk has been restarted. Let us try to see it over here. Let us run this particular query again, because these are all like search time operation, right? Whole SIM concept is a search time operation. That's why it is sometimes called schema on the fly, because nothing happened on the index time. So you have data, you can just do the transformation during the search time and then use it. Okay, so over here, if you see, it is creating the destination field for us, right? It is also creating the source field from the source IP field. If you see, the number of values for these two fields are same, right? So we have created the source, the destination, the signature field already, right? Now let us concentrate on the severity ID field, because we are getting the numeric values over here, right? We need to convert it to a string using this particular lookup over here, right? So what we'll do, we will go to settings, we will go to lookups over here. Okay, so we will add a new lookup table file. We will save it in the search app only. Okay, so let's say we will do it with this particular lookup. Okay, so ossec underscore severities.csv. That will be the lookup file name. I'll just copy it so that I can search it easily. Okay, then I will just search it to make it global. Okay, for your case, you need to see it, either you can make it or global or the app level. I'm just doing a simplistic configuration over here, so that's why I'm not spending much time on this permission stuff. Okay, now I'll just copy this one, so this will be our lookup file name. or let's say like whatever I have given it over here, I will just create a lookup file called something like this one. Okay, so what I will do, I'll just go to lookup. Now we have to add the lookup definition. Now search app is fine, we'll give the name file based, and from here we'll be choosing the one just now we have uploaded over here, right? And then we will save it. We will search for it. We'll change the permission again. Okay, now whether it is working fine or not, let us test it out once. Okay, so if I just create a search window over here and say input lookup, this lookup file name, so if it is showing me data, that means our lookup configuration is fine. Okay, now this lookup needs to be at the search time, that means automatically it needs to be done, so that whenever I will be running this particular query, it should look up and send the data, right? It should be basically creating the severity field from the severity ID field. That is why we need to create the automatic lookup, correct? We have seen this in our lookup videos. So automatic lookups, we'll go over there. We will create a new automatic lookup. Okay, same search app. Let's say we will give it a name. Let me copy the same name, maybe severity for OSS EC. Okay, so this one, apply to the source type. What is our source type over here? This one, correct? So let us do that. And what will be the input field? So this is the field from our event over here. So whatever we have see it over here, like the severity ID which is present in our system or in our event. And what will be my output fields from the lookup? So it will basically output the severity field over here, right? So that is what I'll be giving it over here. Sorry, it will be severity field. We'll go to settings, lookup output field will be severity field. Okay, we will save it. So once you save this one, okay, again make it as global. Ideally it should not be private, but other stuff like whether it will be app level or global, you can maintain that. Okay, once we did that, let us see how it is saved in our props.conf. So if I just vi props.conf, okay, if you see, it has created a this particular settings over here. So either you can do it from here directly from this backend, okay, using this lookup, then the automatic lookup name, then the basically why it is having cam action mode lookup. So let me try to see it over here. It has to be the OSS EC severity lookup. So I actually forgot to change that one over here. Okay, so let me try to open the props.conf again. Okay, this is the severity lookup, and that field it will be basically creating, and that will be the input field for our lookup, right? So if I just run this particular search now, so my severity field should be created automatically because we have created a automatic lookup over here. And if you see it, it is already creating this particular severity field from the severity ID fields over here. Now if I just again go back to the data model over here, so we created most of the fields over here like signature, severity, source, destination, right? Vendor product we can also create. In our event the vendor data is not coming up over here. Okay, so in that case I can just mention something like a static field, like using a eval we can create a static field, something like this one. Okay, so it's up to you, and let me create that one as well. Okay, and if I just go to the Splunk documentation, like for that particular dashboard on the enterprise security, most of the fields we have created over here. So here another field is the IDS type. When you have received this event from multiple hosts, then the IDS type of the host also you can create it over here. So as I do not have the data from multiple sources, so that's why I'm not creating that particular data. But according to the intrusion detection data model, this IDS type, DVC, these fields also ideally you should be creating. Now, as I said, in the documentation, if you read it, some of the fields are recommended, some of the fields are not. So always you need to basically see it over here. Okay, there are, if you see the last column, they have given what fields are recommended. So according to that, you can create those fields over here. Okay, so now I'm just giving you an example like how you can do it, because this, if you just repeat this exercise, it is very easy to create those fields over here. Okay, now let's work on the most important part. We have seen like how we can extract these fields, right? But over here, for this particular data model to fetch any data, you need to at least create these two tags over here, tag equals to IDS and tag equals to attack. Okay, for that what we will do is, as we are only bothered about those events where severity ID greater than 5, greater than equals to 5, so I'll say something like this one. Okay, severity ID, only these events we will be fetching up, or basically for our analysis. Okay, so greater than equals to 5, so only these events over here. Okay, now with this particular search string, what I can do is I can create an event type and then tag that particular event type. We have seen how to create the event types and tags in our previous videos, right? So event type, I'll just create a new event type. Search app is fine. Okay, this is the search string, and let us give it a name. The same name I will be using it, whatever I have given it before, OSS EC attack over here. Okay, so let's name it. Now in the tag, we will be giving those two tags which are required over here, IDS and attack, right? So let's say IDS, comma, attack over here, right? So let us copy that one. Color you can give some, let's say red. Okay, priority is highest is fine. So in single shot we have created the event types, we have created the tags over here. Okay, so let's see that one. Copy. Okay, let's make it again as the global label so that it will be saved in our search app. Okay, so once we did that, if I just do a ls over here, you see there are files created, like apart from props.conf, transform.conf, the tags.conf and the eventtypes.conf, right? And if you see it, eventtypes.conf, so it is having that particular color we have given and the search string we have given, right? And if you see the tags.conf, so it is having those two tags which are enabled for us, right? So once we did that, maybe we can just check it out using this particular search string, whether the data model will fetch any data or not for us, right? So if I just do this one for all time, if you see it is fetching data, that means the data model will be basically identifying the events which are having it, right? This is nothing but the normalization part over here, right? So now if I just go over here in the data model, if you see, we just did the configuration for the IDS attack, that means the root node of the data model, right? If you have seen the data model video I have created, it has root nodes and the child nodes, right? Now if you just have some events which are basically applicable for this level, application intrusion detection, what you need to do, if you see those extracted fields, it is already inheriting. Only thing is that you need to create this IDS type field, and the value of the field should be application over here. Okay, and for the host, the IDS type will be host. For the network, the IDS type will be network over here. Okay, so when you have going to this level, you need to create this particular, extract this particular field as well in your event. Okay, so that's the idea behind it. Now what we have done, we have created the necessary tags and we have extracted the fields necessary for this intrusion detection data model to work. Okay, now in the next video we will try to see how we can verify how much compatible our data is using this CIM app. Okay, that means the CIM compatibility. Okay, let's park it for the next video. Okay, see you in next video.